Hey everyone, welcome. Hey Karina, hey Teresa. Hi Viola, I see that you guys are on. Wonderful. Hey guys. Hey David, hey Michael. Hi guys. Welcome, welcome. If people have not taken a collective intelligence survey on Solar Flash, I'm gonna drop it. Hey Karina, drop it into the chat here. And you guys look great with your backdrop and everything. Yay.
Set up.
Cool. You sound good. You look great. Fabulous.
So do you.
So I just got bitten alive. Hey, Nikki. I just got bitten alive by mosquitoes here.
Monsoon season.
Oh, what's that?
Monsoon season in Sedona. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Yep.
Mosquitoes are out for it. I just heard you can put coconut oil and they don't like that. So.
Oh my gosh, that's a good to know.
Interesting. All right, so I'm gonna get our drop-in timer and we'll go live on our simulcast as soon as we get closer. So Viola, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rocking a heat wave here in Portland. I'm just
You are
inside with the air conditioning.
Wow. Yeah, like is it humid too, or is it just hot? Hey Chester.
Ooh, Chester, hey. It's hot, but it's not the dry hot that it is in Sedona. It's just a different hot, but I think we're getting close to the temperatures there in the desert for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here and see so many familiar, friendly faces and bring you on board to this community. This is so fun.
I know. I feel excited to kind of just tap into this community that I haven't tapped into before and plug in with you all. It's pretty exciting.
Hey, David. So who are you with there? Hi.
Hey, this is Katie.
Hi.
Where are you guys coming in from tonight?
Enjoying the heat as well in Portland. And Nadi, I didn't know that you were back. I thought you were in Sedona still. So I'm going to send you a text about tomorrow night.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Cool.
So good to see you guys. Yay.
Nikki, where are you coming in from?
Hi, I'm from Yukon, Canada.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. We have some Canadians on our EXO team. So
Good to see you, Nikki.
Yeah, we don't have a heat wave. We had rains last few days. So it's nice.
you know where Calgary is, by the way?
If I know where is Calgary, of course.
Yeah. How near is it to you?
A few thousand kilometers.
Oh, okay. So it's far.
To the south.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I heard it's supposed to be like a super special, safe place, along with like the Four Corners and stuff. Someone was telling me that the other day. And we were on the phone with the fire in the grid. One of the women that worked there, and she was like, "I'm in Calgary." I was like, "What? That's so cool." Sharon's got her gnomes up. Yeah, unfortunately, we're stealing Nadi from Portland. All your peeps are like, "Hey, Nadi."
I'm going blue to red, it seems these days. That seems to be happening.
There's a mass exodus. We're all fleeing.
Yeah.
Known as in the Red Rocks, but I don't know, man. It's like Austin. It's a world in of itself.
That's true. That's true.
Welcome, Susan. Welcome, Jeff. Tomo.
Thank you.
So are you guys aware? So if you haven't taken the survey, do that. Also, we can talk a little bit about I'm going to announce a little bit that the big Making Contact conference is coming up on the 18th. Let me just grab the link for you guys. It's quite a going to be quite an amazing experience. Let me share the screen real quick. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are aware of this. This is going to be a big get together. They're going to be founding a People Citizens initiative, a diplomacy initiative. So they're getting all the kind of the government officials together and some of the biggest, thinkers in this space to really map the road ahead. Now that everyone's admitted, including the CIA, that this is all here, now what? Now what do we do? So it's going to be an interesting 5-day, extravaganza with back-to-back talks all day long. Everything's going to be recorded and archived, and it's all in a virtual world, which is easy to access. It's like we have this like Zoom, fatigue right now. It was like, but this allows you to use your voice, but then you make a little avatar and then you can run around on the campus, and there's art shows and all sorts of things. Nani, were you able to get on the other day or not?
I haven't. I figured out what my mistake was though. So I'm going to get right to that. So now I feel empowered. I'll get on soon. I'm so excited to just create an avatar and have this altered identity, really so many fascinating levels of that experience. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. People are like, oh my God, and there's not that many choices because it's kind of a new, system here, but it's pretty cool. People are like, you look like your avatar. And I was like, oh my God. And then other people were choosing someone that didn't look anything like them. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. So yeah, but it's fun. It's really easy to use and yeah.
That's not smartphone compatible, is it?
No, so it's definitely, you're gonna definitely need to be on, oh, you got it, Michael, yeah. You're gonna definitely need to be on your computer. We have we have a discount code. It's only going to work for a couple more days, and then the price is going up to 300. So if you're interested at all, grab it now. But here we go. We're actually about to get started. So let's go ahead. Well, we'll wait one more minute here. But yeah, so there'll be the archives in the back, but you do need a good, not a good computer, but a fairly good computer to run it. But you can dance in there and stuff like that. It's pretty wild. There's a cyberspace lounge and there's fireworks, and they're going to have movie nights in the evening with filmmakers coming. So this is, Mark Sims is going to basically have this huge campus for the whole year long, and he's going to invite organizations to come in and do conferences and things like that. So we literally have a campus, a galactic campus now at our disposal to start. Hey, how's it going, Babaji? Good to see you.
The other thing I don't know
if you can hear me.
We can.
Well, that's good. Maybe later on I can answer questions.
I was going to say,
guys, go ahead and get started. So let's do our 1 minute or drop in. So we're just going to have a moment of silence while we collect ourselves. If everyone can please put themselves on mute, except for you, Viola. I have okay, great. I'm just gonna mute everyone here so that we can do or I'll go ahead just and mute all. It'll be easier, and then you guys can unmute. Okay, here we go. 1 minute. We'll drop into the field. Here we go. Okay, so we are live streaming already, so that's good. Welcome everyone tonight to XO Hangout. It's been a while since we saw each other because we do this the first Thursday and the fourth Thursday of every month. And for those of you that's their first session tonight, welcome. And we do, Nadi is going to do an interview with Viola, and then we're going to have breakout groups later in the session after about 35 minutes, where you guys will be in small groups if you choose to go and share your experiences and hang out together. And then the last section of the event tonight is going to be sharing our contact experience. We think it's important to get a record of what's happening with everyone. This is a free session. We also have a paid session on the fourth Thursdays. We're a nonprofit. The membership is $4.44 a month, and it goes toward building software. So we're building collective intelligence software so we can all come together and share our knowledge. And we're going to be launching the platform on the 28th of this month. So we're really excited about that. I just want to show you a few slides here. So tonight, we have one of our consortium members, Nadi Hanna. She's at galacticrosegeometry.com, and she does all sorts of cool workshops on everything from sacred geometry to crop circles. She's very skilled. She spent a lot of time in the ethers, and she has so much knowledge and enthusiasm to share with us. And we're excited she's part of our consortium and excited to offer her the space tonight to do this incredible interview. Viola Rose, you can find her at heartandsoundhealing.com. She has done over 80 Drunvalo Melchizedek workshops, and she has an incredible place in the world doing healing using sound and her incredible wisdom too. So we're just honored to have both of you guys here tonight. As I mentioned, the Making Contact Conference is going to be next week, starting Wednesday. It's going to be a big deal. Lots of important things are going to be happening. It's in a virtual world. There's a discount code for $100 off, and we hope to see you inside. And this is kind of how it looks inside. There's different rooms, different places to go around, and everyone has an avatar. It's really easy to use because you're just using your voice. Next week, we're going to have Sarah Adams. She's also a healer and been in the ethers, and so we're excited to have her on the next session coming up. And then Adam Curry after that, who's an incredible scientist. He's built technology to help us use random number generators to understand our coherence in this world. And he's going to be joining us in September. And then Linda is going to be joining us at the end of September. She's written a book that was completely channeled. So she's going to be talking about channeling galactics and channeling in general, and writing and her theories on love as well. So, all right. So I'm going to pass it over to you guys. You guys can go ahead and unmute, and I will give you the floor and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Well, we got introductions, so we're all set. So why don't you do that little drop in?
Yeah, just before we even begin chatting, I would like to set the intention that we can connect to the wellspring of higher wisdom and our higher selves, and just like sort of open that portal so that we can let these higher wisdom and energies move through us for our own understanding, and so that we can be in service to the healing of this planet and the evolution of it. And so these conversations for our own growth and the betterment of the world. I'm so excited to be here with you all.
Right. I'm just gonna change our view. Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I am really excited to be here. Thank you, Zenka, and this wonderful EXO Metaverse community. And thank you, Viola. The two of us have been having cosmic chit chats for a lot of years, and typically we are existentially and ascension oriented. So we've had a lot of chit chats about what's going on right now and the trajectory of humanity. And as I'm sure is true for so many of you, it's been a bit of a roller coaster lately. And so there's the ups and the downs. And I think it was in one of the downs, we came upon we came upon the information of a solar flash and the idea, kind of with a new spin on it, right? The idea of some sort of cataclysmic event for humanity. But it was just timed so perfectly, as I will speak for myself. I was in this pit of despair, pretty much. It was a pretty big low.
Yeah, the existential ping ponging.
Yeah,
That can happen where like it's all going to be great. And then sometimes, some days, like, I don't know if any of us are going to survive this. If whatever's coming down the pike is big. And, you know, the ping ponging, that's what I call it, existential ping pong. So I
Yeah.
think we were both in a downward swing.
Yeah, it was a dip.
Like, I don't know what's going to play out
No.
here.
Yeah, and all the feelings that go along with that. So I know that we're in good company with that. And it was in one of the low points where the idea of the solar flash, it just kind of reemerged. And I know we talked about it and I got really hopeful. I got really excited because I haven't been able to see a way out, honestly. And so it was this, oh, great, here's the solution. So we talked about it. And then we found this video that I want to share a couple of clips with. It's from a BQH practitioner, which is Beyond Quantum Healing. It's the woman, Allison Coe. And the video came to me the day after we were talking about the solar flash. And she literally is sharing it's a transcript. She's reading a transcript of a client in a regressed session. And she wanted to put the YouTube out and share it because she had been having a sequence she had so many people that were sharing the same story, namely about their experience choosing to come into, to incarnate right now in order to help humanity through this solar flash, through this experience, and to help us really use it for our betterment and use it for our ascension. So yeah.
Yeah. And like, you know, and all the talk of like, what is going on here? You know, what are we doing here? What's our role here? What it actually is playing out on this planet at this time. You know, some scenarios, there's so many different scenarios, and yet a lot of them lean toward a big event happening. And so it was nice to be reminded of that. Like, oh yeah, there may be our forces larger than ourselves that are also at play here. And this solar flash regression hypnosis session just sort of reminded us of that possibility that, you know, it may not just be us fighting big forces or trying to raise the frequency. Like, there could be bigger energies at play. And so, yeah, I want to play those clips.
Well, I think I would love to give that background of June UAP's work of how all the different cultures, because part of what Viola is talking about is, you know, it could be a solar flash, it could be a lot, but there are lots of prophecy and reference to that. Maybe I'm repeating that, but let's see, I lost my train of thought, but we've got just a little reference to remind us that we're not just, this isn't just pie in the sky. There is a likelihood of some events. And I researched a detail the other night about solar flares, and it's fascinating, but let's have a little minute about how like non-unique this is. It's really been around.
I'm a facilitator for John Melchizedek, and his entire body of work is based around preparing humans for personal and planetary ascension. Really, that's his whole body of work. How to get your light body activated, how to get into your heart, how to activate your third eye, clear the traumas around the heart so that you are ready to ascend and continue to ascend with the earth as she transforms to higher levels of being. So he's very focused on that. So as a researcher, he has looked into various cultures all around the world. And I have one little paragraph I'm going to read you from the classic book, The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life by Drumbolo, where he just names a bunch of these sources. So Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus, the Holy Bible, Mother Mary, Yogananda, and many others of the civilized world predicted that this time that we are in is the time of great change. Some saw this time as one of great destruction and pain, with huge earth changes and a world altered beyond recognition. Others saw a time of rapid spiritual growth, a time of ascension into a new world, and some saw both. The indigenous peoples of the world, the Maori of New Zealand, the Zulus of Africa, the Kahunas of Hawaii, the Eskimos of Alaska, the Maya of Mexico and Guatemala, the Kogi of Colombia, the Native Americans of North America, the Shintos of Japan, and many others all feel and predict that a great change is about to happen, or in some cases is now happening. So we're in it, right? And I think as volunteers and light workers and star seeds, I think a lot of us feel, I know that I do, that that's why I'm here. Like I wouldn't have come for life on this planet just to live a life as normal. Like we're here for the big showdown. And so bring it on. And here it is. And we're living in it.
Yes, we are. Right. So, oh boy. So as we were talking about this more, as I was like diving into it, what strikes me is that there's these two dominant ways to interpret the events, right? So you can focus on, you know, prophecy. Is it going to be solar flash? Is it going to be pole shift? Is it going to be ETs? We can talk about our ascension from an external impact way, or we can look at it from the internal way. How are we going to prepare for this? You know, like June was talking about, what's the internal process of readiness and service, being of service. So it's not an either or, but those are the two interesting sort of ways to focus on it. So we're going to blend a little bit of each. And I think maybe the video, this is a good time for the video.
Sure. Yeah. So this is, these videos is talking about one of those ways that it's potentially that it could be bigger than us. And of course it's both, right?
Right.
It's our work internally and it's external. So
Right.
one
Right.
supports the other.
Right. So the video I'm going to show, Allison Coe is the name of the woman, the regression therapist. And she, like I said, she did these videos because she was just getting so much similar redundant information from lots of different people. And we're all set for screen share, right, Senka? Okay. So these are there's just two different clips and we have one more, maybe we'll get to it, maybe we won't. But what this person is talking about, like a little context, he's talking about coming down intentionally from the ships, knowing that he came here for this time. He goes into, he actually sees the solar flash and what happens. And he's talking about the fallout, and he's going into the different aspects of who makes it, who's impacted, what it looks like, and why we're here. So we'll go into the first clip. There are 2 3-minute clips, so you'll see us jump around.
Okay, here we go. Clip number 1.
On the earth to allow for this change to happen. I know you guys anchored the light, but what happened then? There was a big catalyst, an avalanche of light that hit the planet. We were helping and other people were helping. I feel like it got to a breaking point finally, and the earth was inundated with this light, and this was the start, the beginning. And what happened to people when this avalanche of light hit the earth? Can you go to that point and look? Were they able to see the light as well as feel it? I see people walking, going about their lives, and all of a sudden, it's like a flash. The light comes down from above and hits everybody. These beams are hitting these people. They stop in their tracks, and they're hit with these beams of light, and it's like a huge shock. They stop what they're doing. Some of them fall to the ground. Some of them stay standing, but it's like a convulsion. Like some people go into convulsions and they can't handle the light. And others are able to just sit down and be in it. It's so sudden. It's kind of chaotic. People didn't expect it. It's like they're in shock. They're all getting hit all at once, and it stops them in their tracks, and it stops everything. And what happens next? I'm seeing a lot of people that need help. I'm getting that it was a solar flash. We got hit with too much light all at once. And there's a lot of people in shock. A lot of people are on the ground and they need help. They need help understanding. They need help handling the light. And I'm running around from person to person on the ground and then kind of consoling them, touching them, telling them it's okay. I see other people doing the same thing. How did these people react when they were told it's okay? What happens to them? They don't know what to think because they're kind of in a different state of mind. Some of them aren't even conscious. They're not aware of what's going on. Some of them are convulsing, but they're aware of what's happening, but they're not in their mind. They're somewhere else. But I'm just going to them, touching them, soothing them. It's helping them in a way. It's helping them relax. It's not going to help their bodies calm down. They're going to keep convulsing, but it's helping their minds find some semblance of peace. I feel like a paramedic, this great explosion that's happened, and it's knocked a lot of people to the ground, and I'm going from person to person. I feel like I've got some sort of medic kit, but it's not a physical kit, but I feel like I have the tools and I know what to do, and I'm touching these people on the forehead and it's soothing them. And there's other people doing the same thing. I feel other light workers running around and doing what I'm doing.
Next clip.
And so for you and your brother, you chose to be boots on the ground to help people. Can you walk me through what it is you're feeling, since you would consider yourself a light worker? What are you actually experiencing from this avalanche of light, as you call it, whether that's emotional or physical or mental? Well, when it first hit, I feel like I needed a few minutes to just be in it, and get used to it. It was a shock for me too. It definitely made me stop what I was doing. It was a shock for my body, but I recovered pretty much right away. I was only down for a few minutes, and I recovered right away, and I knew what to do once I woke up. I've been getting ready for this. I've been getting ready for the light. I've had my downloads. I've been slowly becoming in tune with this, and it was just the initial shock that got me down. But once I woke up, I'm able to deal with it, and now I'm on. I know what to do. I'm busy. It's hectic, but I'm in the zone. I'm doing what I came to do, and I'm in action. My brother and I, we know what to do. What are people needing at this time besides your reassurance? The people around me, they're not used to the light. They're not used to these energies. So they need assurance. They need help getting through it. We're just there to ease their transition. And what does that transition look like? I'm seeing people slowly waking up. It's like they've been asleep and now they're awake. And I feel like not everybody made it through. It's not the same amount of people that there were before, and people are waking up and they're confused, and they're slowly going to remember what happened, where they were, and they're in a different place now. It's still the old earth, but it's in the new earth. Everything still looks the same, but it's a new vibration. Everybody knows they're going to be more aware as time goes on of where they are, and we're going to start anew. We're going to take back the planet. We're going to undo what was done. And do your wife and son come back from their meditative state to be a part of that? Yeah, I feel like we're going to be living back on the ship for some time. That's where our family is. That's where our crew is. We're going to be living in our ship, but we're also going to be slowly moving back down once the cities are ready. Some people are going to stay on the planet. They're going to live in the crystal cities, and they're going to help rebuild the planet. And we're going to be helping too, but we're mainly going to be back in our ship up above. How will you help from up above? Can you walk me through that? We're going to be supervising the reconstruction. My family and I, we came from above. We're not from here, from Earth. The ship has been our home for a long time, and that's where we're happy. But a lot of people are from here. They're from Earth. They've been here a long time, and this is their home, and we're going to work helping them. We're helping them to rebuild. We're monitoring from above, but we're also working with them on the ground. And we're taking down the old buildings in the old cities, and we're helping them bring back the forests, bring back nature, clean the water, bring back the animal life. And we will be teaching them to rebuild and live with the planet and live alongside the planet without affecting her or the plants or the animals. We live on these grid systems. We live in these crystalline cities. And I'm seeing big towers, and all of humanity live on these grids, and we live with the earth. But from these grids, we're able to send out energy to the planet for her to heal and for nature.
Okay. Well, this is the point in my mind where we would open it up to everybody to say, what did you think about that? But instead, we'll talk about it, and then we'll do that. So let's see. So many places to go. I know that from my experience, it really gave me a lot of hope, like a lot of hope. And so I had to look into that a little bit. And in part, it's because I feel like we're so far gone here that we need something external. And yet we can't just have the external. We've got to have our internal process ready and able to interface with whatever the technology or civilization or environmental destruction that's going to happen. So there's this partnership where I have more hope now, and it inspires me to work more on my internal process to be ready. It's not like this, and this is what I'm going for. It's not like, oh, the ETs are coming, we're fine. There's that real encouragement to be ready and do the inner work to be able to receive and show up. And I mean, so many of us as light workers and star seeds, and however you identify, we kind of know we're here for a big purpose. And we also know that we're not from here. I really loved the validation of like, yeah, we're on the ship up there. It's fun. We can watch from up there, and we'll be walking on the ground too.
I actually just had a thought while you were sharing about what you were saying about how, it's not using, oh, the ETs are coming as an excuse to not do the work,
Right.
actually using it as an inspiration to do the work,
Right.
because we're a part of something bigger. And there can be more reason and more motivation to be part of a big grand unfolding of the ascension of Earth, of the awakening of Earth. And it gives actually more motivation and inspiration to do the inner work that it takes to be a part of a bigger movement.
Do you, like a super team, do you want to go into June Willis, like, or your specific perspective on how to do that work? Or,
Yeah,
what he does?
Dan Williis focuses a lot on talking about the 3 days of darkness and the shift from third dimension into fourth dimension, or the fourth world into the fifth world, depending upon which tradition you're looking at. And so it's a little different take than that's a solar flash, although he does often talk about the solar flash and how the stair-step evolution that has happened has been, huge shifts in human consciousness coming through these the dance of transition between Mother Earth and Father Sky, right, is the solar flares, is the DNA information coming to Earth and upgrading us. And so if something really big came, it could shift things in an instant, right? Mm-hmm. But he also talks a lot about that shift into the fourth dimension, that when there's, a pole shift precedes a dimensional shift. And then what do you want to do to prepare yourself for that, for whatever's coming? And really, it's getting into the heart and activating your Merkaba, activating your light body, and being in your heart and saying no thank you to whatever fear opportunities and invitations come into your life. And the more that you're anchored in your heart, the less you are susceptible to fear programming, through the invitations to step into fear and to step into duality. You're just like, no thanks, I'm just staying in my heart, I'm good. And his work is really based on anchoring and learning to live from your heart, activate your light body, which is your ascension vehicle, which is your ability to travel interdimensionally with an activated light body around you, to activate that from the heart space as a unity vehicle, so that you can transcend this dualistic realm of the third dimension and travel onward as the Earth herself continues to upgrade through this dance of transition between the sun and the Earth.
Yeah.
And so there's a way that that I just sometimes I just unplug. I just unplug from the push and the pull of the dance that's going on in the world, and just get into the silence and the love that's in my heart, and just anchor there and just let the duality spin around the outside, and then begin to breathe prana in and let myself be a conduit for higher dimensional energies to come in and through to help upgrade and elevate and continue to lift the planet to where it wants to go.
It's a good job if you can swing it when we signed up.
I think somebody said something on a comment like they were ready to speak.
Mm-mm,
Not yet. Okay. Leave it to Nadi.
Yeah. So we will get to fielding the questions and inputs, and it's really exciting to see that people are jazzed about this. Just a couple more minutes, and then we'll look to give the opportunity for the breakouts, and then we'll keep going. So that's the June Willis perspective of the heart and of the internal, and that the interdimensional accessing through the heart. That I signed up for that. That's what makes sense. And I feel like there's also, there's a lot of different aspects to grounding and being ready, right? There's being in the physical body, there's being in your center. And there's also a little bit of information, which is where I love to hang out, which is, we are multidimensional beings, right? And the more we can really tap into, it's saying the same thing, only a little bit differently. The more we can really play around in the idea that there is so much more to us, and that there is so much more here, right? Our galactic community, all of the ET star nations that are here to help us, you know, doing the inner work to become all that we are helps us to be ready for interface with other civilizations, which everyone on this crew knows is coming, right? Like it's just the time that it is, which is why we're so brilliant for getting that, you know? So really doing the inner work to be centered in your heart, and then also having that consciousness and that awareness that there is so much more going on, that we are part of such a bigger picture, that we have sensory capacities, we have psychic capacities that we can activate to tune into that and connect with that. So it's really this multifaceted approach to really maximizing why we're here and being ready for whatever's going to come whenever it's going to come. So there's this, you know, yes, there's the idea of the solar flash. And here's that piece of information that I read earlier. So a large CME, a large coronal mass ejection, is one that's very impactful, happens about every 150 years. And the last one was the Carrington event in 1859 that wiped out the entire, you know, telegraph system. And
So we're due.
we're right now. So it's not far-fetched to go, you know, whoa, be ready. And let's add the third part. So we've got being in your heart, we've got being centered in your higher self. And then we've got the consciousness, the awareness of what could be coming. And then there's getting your supplies, right? So there's a third part of like just know that on this earthly plane, you want to have your supplements, you want to be ready for the grids going down. It's just a smart move, just to put a little plug in for that. I felt like
Trusting God and tether your horse.
that one.
Yeah.
So I felt when I saw this, I felt like when I saw the video, I felt like, oh my God, we all need to know, like it could be happening. And we will now have an awareness, we probably did already, but you know, a greater awareness of the potential for a mass shift in consciousness. And one of the things that I really enjoy that you talk about is remembering to sort of choose the high vibe, and remembering that, yes, we're seeing a lot of destruction, a lot of deterioration, a lot of chaos, a lot of suffering, and to try and find that balance of understanding the higher purpose, understanding that we are ascending, so to speak, like it is happening, there is hope, and trying to use that lens to see it as well.
Yeah, like it's a Leela, it's a dance playing out, right? And everything is unfolding perfectly, and there's no emergency going on, and all this stuff's going down. And so I just keep trying to remember, like it's like a chess game, you know, just like, what's my next move? What do I want to do to be prepared? But really all I have to do is be in my heart, and it's going to work itself out. But it's a constant choice to continue to stay informed to some degree, so I know what chess move I want to make next, but also to keep the high vibe and to do the spiritual practices on a daily basis that will keep me in a really high vibrational place. And a lot of Tonglen, a lot of love, a lot of sending love to everyone, refusing to step into any duality, any division, and just loving all really helps.
Sometimes easier said than done. It's a big job. There was one other thing that that came up in my mind, but I sort of lost it. So maybe we should just transition. Zenka, do you want to do, we're at about the half an hour mark. I feel like there's one I've been sitting on that it'll come to me in a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, let's maybe look at the surveys here. So for those of you, thank you if you did fill out the survey, thank you for doing that. These are collecting over time and growing, and it's actually really quite interesting. So what about the possibility of a sudden event that globally impacts humanity? Do you think and then we had possible, likely, and inevitable, all totaling up to, what is that, like 88%, right? So nobody thought it was impossible, which is interesting. And very small percentage thought that it was not likely. So there's something, I mean, that was really fascinating, Viola, that you read all those different tribes and cultures and books that mention that there was this, that there might be this big event, right? So it's maybe something we're sensing, it's something in our prophecy, maybe it's that we want, you know what I mean? We want it to happen. Interesting, right? So that's a pretty high percentage, 88%. So if so, what do you think it would look like? So we had 62%, a large reorganization of our survival systems, ascension, planetary pole shifts, apocalyptic, 3 days of darkness, the rapture, total. Well, nobody thinks we're going to be in total extinction, so that's pretty great, right? What do you think a sudden event that impacted the entire planet and humanity would look like? And we've got a lot of people saying a solar flash, right? And we know from the, the solar, mass ejections that are happening right now and hitting the Schumann resonance, that's causing our nervous system to react, right? So the small ones that are happening now are happening, I believe, more frequently. We should look at that, but it's definitely impacting our electromagnetic fields. And we're in a low point, but the 11-year cycle is going to be raising up in the coming years. So, okay, so ET landing, 37% feel that that's coming.
More solar flash than ET landing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, reality is whatever we want to experience in a way, and what the tipping point, I mean, in my opinion. So if we want ETs to land, like, and enough of us want that, then that will probably happen, right?
I liked the combo platter. I liked that you could have both, like where there's a solar flash, and because the ETs know about these things, they're right here and the ships are coming in and people are, they're part of the assistance team. And so having that awareness of that, or that potentiality, you could have both as part of the massive transition experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could be both. So this person, these are the people who answered other. The coronavirus hasn't ended. Moreover, it keeps you mutating. One of these mutations could be the event you're asking about. Economic meltdown, confusion and disclosure of various kinds. And then we had some people writing about dreams that they've had about a large event. And so that's really interesting to start to analyze, like in mass, like what our intuitions and our dreams are coming up with. ETs finally revealing themselves to us through mass sightings, nuclear holocaust or large scale ET crafts appearing. Yes to numerous dreams. I'm going to share this link so you guys can check this out. Volcanoes. Yeah, if people hadn't had a dream, they write none. So I'll share this in the chat. And right now we're going to go into breakout groups. So if you want to stay into the main group with Nadi and Viola, you can do that and they'll continue their conversation, or you can be in the small groups. And the small groups are going to last 20 minutes. There'll be groups of about 4 or 5. You'll have about 5 minutes each to speak. So you want to get in the group. I'll be moving people around. So just wait a second until I get everyone settled. And then you'll pick a timekeeper, and that timekeeper will keep the time for 5 minutes for each person. And that person gets that time to themselves to say whatever they want. If they want feedback, they can ask for it. If not, it's just their time to talk. And we would love to hear about you guys talk about what is your theory about, is there going to be an event? Is there not going to be an event? What would it look like? How does it work? And if not, you can just get some support that you need in your life, or you can share a contact story. So those, I'm going to click the breakout groups now. And if so Nadi, you guys are going to stay with us. And if you guys want to stay here, just don't accept the breakout group. And like I said, I'll be moving things around for the first few moments to get everyone settled. So here we go.
We should have space age music for this
We should.
intermission.
Right.
I know, right?
Cosmic galactic disco.
I know, right? Okay, here we go.
I've got the playlist.
We just don't join
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah. I think it'd be fun to do like question and answers and just get connected.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. That's great.
There was one there's one thought that keeps evading me, but I know it's a good one. Did you have anything that came up after
No.
The survey. The survey was fascinating and validating, and God, there really is a thought right in there about like preparation. It's hard to say timelines when you go into the, can we put the link to that video? Senka, can you put the link to that video in the chat at some point? Her name's Allison Coe, C-O-E.
I tried to find it, but you'll just share it later. That's fine. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So I highly recommend watching the rest of that. And at some point she goes into, or the client goes into, or she asks the timeline, like, can you see when this is, or when this is going to happen? And, you know, he has a time, but I think it's just, time is so nonlinear, and getting into predictions just never works with this sort of stuff. So I think maybe Q&A might be.
Yeah, and everyone's saying it's like now. It's like, okay.
I know. Well, they had something for, he had something for next year was the deal. And then, you know, what's a fascinating game is if we're thinking about a solar flare, we're talking about a 50-50 shot, right? Is it going to be night or day? Are we going to be facing it or facing away from it? Like, that is a really like day or night for you when that happens. So, or for us. Okay. So that's that. I think, yeah, I think it's time to talk with everybody. Should we pick, and then, or do you want to pick?
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions that you want to ask, you can raise your hands, and I will promote you. You can do that with the reactions. Okay, Court.
Yeah, Court.
Welcome.
Hi guys.
Hi.
To Nadi or Viola or anyone, is there a difference between a solar flash and a solar flare? That's like new. I'm just wondering if that does it. What is the phenomena of a solar flash?
Mm-hmm. I think they're mutual. I think they're synonyms. I think it's the same thing. And it's basically, you can also call it a coronal mass ejection. It's just a huge blast from the sun. And I think they're the same.
Yeah, you know, and I think it comes, you know, off of the sun, big wall of energy. I think it takes 28 minutes to hit the Earth, and it changes the Earth's magnetic fields, the magnetic field of the Earth. And so when a solar flare hits the Earth, people can get a little disoriented because it's changing our orientation to the Earth, because the Earth's magnetic field shifts slightly each time that happens. And those are the DNA upgrades. We want those, but people can get disoriented, like, oh, solar flares are happening today. Like, I can't finish my sentences, you know? And Drumbala says, you know, go outside. If you know they're coming, you can sign up on spaceweather.com or solarmonitor.org and get notifications when a solar flare is coming. And then you could get outside barefoot into the sky and just like receive, you know, and just like upgrade. And so I get really excited about them.
Okay, so basically they are the same. They are the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And that was actually the piece that has been evading me, is the DNA upgrade. It is like the way that the sun interfaces with our genetic encoding for this activation. It's almost like we were encoded for this event with some sort of like massive photonic blast that impacts us at a supercellular level and energetic and beyond. But that is a big part of this. And I don't know the science, obviously, but there are many that do. And so looking into the DNA upgrade that then allows us to tap that multidimensional reality, that multidimensional self that we are, like super activating it could be instant activation of our psychic abilities, of our telepathy, you know, like maybe we would be able to talk with each other across the world and coordinate the recovery team and the aspects and like all sorts of possibilities about how in the midst of this mass destruction, there could be this absolute explosion of our genius and our capacity to get through it. Like I get so excited, clearly. So, okay, great. So
We have another, we have a couple more questions here. Karena and then Heather, you're next after that. Karina, I'm looking for you. Oh, here you are. Okay, here, because you were on the.
Look at my lips. I put this funny thing on. Look at my lips. How funny is that? Okay. I just have a comment because this idea of the solar flash or whatever it is, it's been coming up more and more from so many different sources. So it really is getting my attention. And from this is what I understand from one particular source. I tried to find the link. I'll look a little bit better, but that, you know how we've been having all these monoliths showing up all the time? So, and all the ley lines are underneath it, right? And so when the solar flash hits, it hits like the monoliths which hit the crystals underneath, which start sending this energy through the ley lines in the on the planet. So it doesn't matter what side of the planet or whatever you're on, because it's not just that the light comes through. The light comes through to activate a whole lot of things that have been laying dormant, waiting for the moment, and the moment will be when the flash hits. So that's my comment.
Beautiful.
Awesome. I'm going to put Heather here as well. Hey, Heather, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I do have some experience with solar flares. It was something that I sought out a lot of expertise in the early 2000s because it was affecting my health. And so I did a lot of research with some people at the University of Minnesota on the topic. And so what I find is interesting is I don't really have the vernacular around the ascension process. So I'm going to kind of leave that off to the side. But there is, when there are X-class and M-class solar flares, again, go to spaceweather.com, recent solar events, get on the monitoring. But X-class and M-class solar flares give an 11% increase in cardiac events like actual heart attacks, as well as traffic accidents. So ERs are busier during those times. And I think it's really prudent for people to prep, not just on, again, I'm leaving the ascension side off of it because I think Nadi is a real expert on that. So I won't say much about that. But in terms of, having water on hand, just like any other sort of cataclysmic experience, hurricanes, fires, floods, you want good shoes, water, batteries, etc. Available, because in 2005, Detroit was browned out, and Northern Ohio, I don't know how many people remember that, but that was as the result of the solar flares affecting the power grids. So it's a very possible experience for us to have anywhere in our country based on the way our power grid is set up. So those are just practical things.
A follow-up comment to what you shared is that is true, that some people can be disoriented or have health challenges from the solar flares. And I know I said, get outside and stand barefooted, like receive, but I have to qualify that. I'm also saying that from a place of somebody who has activated a Merkaba and has programmed it to absorb the change in the field at a rate that won't disturb me. Like you can activate your light body, your Merkaba, and you can program it so that when a solar flare hits, to move over to the new position of the field at a rate that won't disturb you. Mm-hmm. It's like a surge protector so that you still get the DN upgrades, but you don't get blown out. And so I should probably also say that it's a good idea to also have an activated Merkaba that you've programmed if you're going to just get out there and blast yourself with it, because there can be complications.
Well, and do you think I think that's translatable. I don't know that it has to be, yes, activated Merkaba, our light
whatever
bodies,
your mojo is.
Whatever your mojo is. Yeah, like just tune into strengthening your system whether it's like diet and cleaning up diet so that your system can more integrate higher frequencies, or any kind of practice that would buffer you from sudden impact. And I'm not sure that the idea of buffering, everybody's going to take a blow here, and it'll be like, I don't want to assume that it's going to happen. Let's just say, like, in the event,
In a grand flash.
in a grand flash, everybody would be impacted. It's like the absorption and the rebound would be much easier, much able to integrate, given how much the work you've done, inner work. So just to add that. Thanks, Heather. Nice to see you.
I have a little share if nobody else has their hand raised. This is let's see, this is the Schumann resonance for July. We had heavy in the 13th and 14th and the 26th. We had it high today too, which you can see which different days were high. Sorry, I thought I had August up, but this is actually showing the other ones, but it was high today. And this is those cycles that we were talking about. We've actually have 2 low cycles, which doesn't happen barely ever in the history. You know, we've tracked these 11 years for so long, and we've had 2 low dips. So we're at the rise up. So our nervous systems, this will show you. So this is the one we're in now, this far one. The last one was low too, and it's very rare that happens. The other ones were high. So just like when we're in the high point, just like you said, traffic accidents happened, just like the full moon, you know, that's where we either have a war or inventions. It can go either way. But this is the number of sunspots in red. So this is when the sun produces a big explosion, it heads to Earth, and it affects our field. So those are the number of sunspots, the red, and these are the number of historical events. We're talking about wars, we're talking about inventions, all those big things. And it's exactly parallel.
Wow.
So this was a discovery, and this is from 1750 to 1920. The guy was analyzing like war battles and stuff, and he was like, oh my God. So we know, right, that this is happening. We had 9/11 on the peak, it's like we as humans get a little bit more altered in it. There's all these articles about the stock market does the same thing, right? So that's why it's so important, right, that we this is the Dalton minimum. It's this 2 low point that we really we have the potential to create renaissance, as we go up in the next 6 years, right? That's when the peak is going to happen in 5 or 6 years. So we can create this renaissance if we're in peace, if we're in coherence, or we can have World War III. I don't know. We get to decide, and that's why it's important, like as you guys are saying, to do the inner work now, because we are going to be excited as a society. Everything's going to be excited if this is the low period. Imagine, right? Oh, so what are we going to do?
Yeah. Choice point, right? Like that's another choice point and bifurcation, right? Like we're seeing so much of a split in terms of what you're going to focus on, and whether it's going to be fear and division or unity and love. And so part of why I was really excited to do that is just to continue to give us motivation to pivot towards the interconnectivity and the potential for the higher vibrational manifestation. That data is fascinating. You have converted me to a data junkie. I love it. I was wondering, since we have a minute, do we need to do other things, or could we show that 3rd clip of the video? Do you have other things? Nope. Kind of have.
Yeah, if you guys, and we have the contact thing if you guys want to do that. But yeah, go ahead and share that, and then at 7:30 we bring everyone back.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, I think it's 4 minutes, maybe 3. It's not long, and I think that
then we'll bring people back.
This one goes more into the ships. Should we wait, where were we going to start? Oh, we've got it queued up already. Do we have it right?
Yeah.
Should we wait for people to come back to the,
No, I think we share it now.
okay, we go for it, 28:15. Yep, okay.
Okay, this is the last one that Nadi wanted to share.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there were many people who didn't go on the ships, though.
Wait.
Yeah, a lot of people stayed, and these are the people that
I left it at a fast speed. Sorry about that.
We were scrubbing it at a fast speed to get the right spot. Let's go down to 125.
And then we wanted it 28:15.
Okay.
Can't miss a minute.
All right.
All right.
20, what?
28:15. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So it sounds like there were many people who didn't go on the ships, though. Yeah, a lot of people stayed, and these are the people that didn't have to go. These were the people that could take it. They've done the work. They've done the work in order to stay, and they're going to be the first ones to be on the planet, and they're going to help my team get it ready for everyone else. Good. Okay. So these people who knew this was happening, so awakened people or light workers, they're the ones you had to help and act as a medic to when the light hit. The light workers are people like us. They are starseeds. They're not people from here. They're the ones that came down in order to help in this shift. They're going to be aware. They're going to be conscious of everything that's going down. They're going to be down here to help these people who are awake enough to go through the shift. But the people that are going to need our help and are going to be the ones that stayed here and who are awake enough, they're from here. They're from Earth. They've incarnated completely here on Earth. They originated here, but they're at a level where they can handle the energies. They've done the work. They may not all be awake now. They may not be conscious of the fact that they're awake, but they're the ones that are of higher light.
Great. So I thought it was fascinating when she talked about, obviously, please do check out the video because she talks about those of us who, and I don't mean this as an us and them. I mean, those who have the ability, either the physiological or psychospiritual, to navigate the flash and come to kind of as fast as possible. And that those are the folks, those are the ground teams. Those are the ones who are going to sort of help everybody else, whether our capacities will be totally activated where it's just easy and we know what we're doing. We're laying hands on and things just, we're in our flow. this is what we came here for. And then there's those, he describes it, or he, that there are some that won't make it physiologically, that their bodies, they're not going to make it. But then there are many who are asleep. He talks about their consciousness has almost been manipulated to be in a hypnotic trance, and that we and any kind of ETs are there to help them onto the ship. They literally go somewhere else, go onto a ship. And so he's experienced all these fascinating levels of what kind of intervention and the different levels of intervention, and then the different levels of consciousness and how they will respond after the flash. And I just thought that was fascinating. Are some people going to have to check out? Is this they've signed on to leave at this point? It's fascinating to me to think about all of the different impacts, all the different levels of impact on consciousness.
And that translates to so many different traditions and
Right.
so many different stories in the Bible, in the Hopi prophecy, about having to be kind of a certain vibration in order to make a transition. And so that's just interesting to put different various pieces together.
Yeah.
Whether it's going through the portal into the fourth dimension, or whether it's ascension,
Right.
whatever
The
it is.
rapture always comes to mind, right? That's what I want to avoid, is an us and them and the chosen ones and all of this. But
But your vibration sort of just defines what you're aligned with, I suppose. And so keeping the vibration high, as Michael was saying, just, focusing on the paradise that you want to create, that really goes a long way, and not from a place of spiritual bypassing, not from a place of denial, but from a sovereign place of choosing the frequency that you want to resonate at and holding that as your home, and with no blinders on, and still being aware of everything that's going on. But that is my frequency, that is the vibration, and I'm going to hold that. And then you're vibrating as high as you are, and then you will naturally resonate toward what is aligned.
okay.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really great advice, is just to figure out what frequency you want to be at and have that be your home, because you're going to get knocked off of it all day or in course of the day or whatever. But if you can go back to know where you want to be, where you want to be at home, then you've got your true north. That's great. So I'm bringing everyone back. Good to see you tonight, Greg. Greg is also part of the EXO Metaverse team, and he's been working hard on our mapping stuff, and we appreciate him so much. And so now for the last final half an hour, we traditionally do welcome John Ramirez is here too. Welcome. Good to see everyone. So the last half an hour, we work toward our docu-series of contact experiences. So these are things that we're going to be putting on the map. We're eventually going to put them on other planets. This is our chance to talk about, did you have an experience? Was it in your dreams? Was it in a meditation? Was it in real life? What was it for you? So we'd like these experiences to be relatively short so everyone can give a chance to talk. So around 3 minutes or so. And if you guys want to kick it off, you can, or we can pass it to the audience. So either way, and if we don't have experiences to share, then of course we can just do some more Q&A here. But if you do have an experience that you want to share, you can raise your hand. And then we ask that if you do share your experience, you would be okay with us putting it on the YouTube and putting it in the archive. Do you guys want to kick it off over there? Nadia or Viola, do you want to talk about, we kind of break the series into our first experience. So it could be like, oh, the first time you looked up and you saw something, moving, or your meditation, or it could be, the life-changing experience that you might have had.
Well, piggybacking on the question from your questionnaire earlier about dreams that you've had, I will share that when I was a child under 10, I can remember 2 dreams that I had of the world ending and mayhem happening. And these are like the earliest dreams that I remember, and they've stuck with me my whole life. And the first one was the world was going to end and everybody was freaking out. And then instead of the world ending, these aliens came. But I'm a child of like 6 or 7, and I didn't really know what aliens were so much. And so I think I identify them as French fry guys from McDonald's. Like that's what they looked like to me. But in the dream, they came down, and instead of the world ending, it was these beings that came from elsewhere, and then everything was okay. And then the second dream that I had, which was probably a year later, was that the world was about to end and people were running all over and with their belongings and throwing stuff off cliffs, and it was dark, and the world was in mayhem. And then instead of the world ending, the morning came and there were 2 suns. And then everything was okay. And so those were some potent experiences from my childhood that I remember that sort of set the tone. So I'll start with that.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah, and now here you are doing a call about solar flash.
I know, right? Everything's coming full circle.
Fascinating. I can't think of anything super related for ET contact. I know that.
Okay.
I know
we
that
have Michael here too. If you want to pass the mic. Okay,
Sure.
so Michael, you're on.
Okay.
I love your shirt, by the way. It's amazing.
Well, actually, interestingly and coincidentally, the experience I'm going to tell you about is from a self-development workshop with Robert Kirby, and this is his logo. He is an American guy, been in Australia for many, many years. I was doing this workshop, and I had seen a UFO, and I had a few dreams and things related, but I won't go into all of that. But basically this like silver ball just hanging in the sky for hours and hours and hours. I can't remember how long. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours or more before I gave up. I was sort of willing it to move or whatever, but I wasn't kind of in any particular telepathic communication. I was just fascinated by this ball hanging in the sky. But moving on a number of years in this self-development workshop, I was doing a one-on-one kind of exercise, and that was all going fine. Suddenly my crown chakra started to expand dramatically. Like I'd experienced sort of energetic expansion before, but nothing to this extent. And basically all my chakras right through my entire body kind of expanded till I was flowing in energy to the point where I actually, it was too hard to handle. I started crying and realized like, okay, don't resist, just relax, breathe and whatever. I lost consciousness to the room, was not aware of the person sitting in front of me, like she was only 2-3 feet away. My awareness seemed to go into 3D, and I really am still struggling to kind of understand how that was, but I became aware of who and what this being was. I actually, at one point in the early stages, I looked down at my feet and I saw wings. And this is almost like an anchor point to the whole experience, where I said to myself, wings? What? Really? Wings? And so what I became aware that it was a very large, masculine, muscular being, probably, I don't know, so it must have been like 7 feet or something like that tall, because at one stage I was lifted up, and which was effortless for him. And I seemed to float, at least in my mind anyway. And this went on, and I sort of played with the resistance of allowing the energy in and feeling the flow. And as I resisted, I began to cry again, or not so much like cry emotionally, just the pressure was like, you know, almost like pain, but it wasn't pain. And also what's perplexes me now is it wasn't a hugely loving kind of feeling either. It was just pure, absolute energy, as if like being plugged into the wall. And it just went on for, I don't know, I think it might have been 10 to 15 minutes. And it just subsided. I became aware of the person sitting in front of me. I said, what just happened? What did you see? And funnily enough, she never, ever has been able to say a single word about it. Like I've asked her 2 or 3 times. I actually went and visited her office a few days later to say, look, you got to tell me what, and she just was not able to answer. And it's like, I don't know. Anyway, that was several years ago, and it's sent me on a whole journey of exploration of ETs and angels as well, and led me to create Beyond Being Human, which those 3 words actually came to me as a kind of a download, I guess. And it was like okay, you've got to actually start sharing this and create a presentation and do that. And so that's what I've been doing. That's all.
Thank you so much for sharing. And everyone, please feel free to add links that you have for yourself or your work in the chats over here. That's great. It does. Oh, okay. So we have MJ. Here we go, MJ. Welcome. MJ, can you hear us? If anybody else also wants to share an experience they had, a dream, a premonition, an experience in real life, please raise your hands. And I don't know
if you can hear me.
Now we can, yeah.
Hey, Zanka.
Hey.
I don't know if it's possible to share my screen. I was gonna just show something.
You
It has to
can.
do. Okay.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, I just wanted to encourage I know you're an artist, and I don't know if I mentioned this. There is a art contest with cash prizes as part of this conference, Making Contact conference. So there's only 2 days left, I think, or 3 days left for the artist contest. It's free to enter. And it's going to be voted on by all the conference goers. It's going to be in a virtual art gallery. I just shared the link. So definitely, MJ, encourage you. And then if you guys know any artists that would like to be recognized and participate in cash prizes and get free tickets to the conference, you can share that makingcontact.com/artist-contest. Cool.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see this.
We can.
Okay. It's been a while. This is something I kind of rendered based on an experience I had a few weeks back. And I just felt like I just had a gut feeling or feeling from the heart that for some reason I needed to go ahead and create this. And something very interesting happened. Let me stop the share. Let me see if I can replay it. Okay. So this is actually a rectangular prism ship that I experienced, and they actually gave me a download during the experience, like a miniature version of it that uses water. I think I talked about it the last time Alan was in the show. And they use water or memory stored in water to travel and seek out portals in our sky to travel different places. But the interesting thing that happened today, I'm gonna stop this so I can talk, is while I was doing this today, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started hearing thunder. There was no thunder or anything that was broadcasted in the weather in my immediate area. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then out of nowhere, it's still sunny. It started raining, and so in that art and that experience, they tracked down not necessarily a tornado, but like a wormhole opening in the clouds. So at the end of the day, after I've got done with my art, because I'm working on multiple projects, this is a new venture I'm working on. That's why I haven't been able to attend a lot of the previous events. But after I got done, it was right before sunset. I look out of the sky, and the same type of wormhole, our circular spins of clouds were found in my sky, right outside my window. So whatever I was drawing was actually happening outside. So basically, just tells me that they were already here while I was doing this. This was an amazing experience. Even my kids were kind of stunned that why is there rain out of nowhere when there's sun, and this cloud just happened to be there coming out of nowhere. So just wanted to share that this was a very amazing and interesting experience today. Literally a few hours ago, that's what happened.
Wow. That was amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they were literally, I kind of felt that they were here. And then, because like I said, the cloud came out of nowhere, and then it started raining, and it's sunny, and it's only that one patch of cloud on top of my apartment complex where it's rain is happening, nowhere else around the area. And then right after it stopped and my drawing stopped, I see these spins, kind of like the Fibonacci spin or whatever you call it. I'm sorry, I'm short of words right now, but basically circular spins in the sky of clouds just showed up out of nowhere. So yeah, it was very interesting and very amazing.
Wow, that's so cool. Thanks for sharing. And it's good that this is happening to an artist that can actually help render it. Like, it's so fascinating to think of, like a prism type ship and everything. So yeah, I encourage you to enter that art contest, and thanks for sharing.
Sure.
It's great to have new shares. We have Rosa Sol from Guatemala. Welcome, and thanks for sharing.
My turn. Okay. Hi, everybody. I would like to share not in one experience, because it has been it has been many of them, and vastly, and for forever. So more like the process of evolution of the relationship with the ETs that I have been having. And at the beginning, it was more of looking for them outside. And of course, I've seen the ships, and we've even danced with them with a friend, and many dreams and others even materialize with touch or with sound, or different types of manifestations. But I think the most important evolution of this relationship has been the point where I stopped looking for them outside and started talking to them from the inside, and especially from because I've always had relationship with avians, with the Arcturians and the Pleiadians, those three especially. Very seldomly others. And when that changed, the language changed, and the multidimensionality, the relationship in a multidimensional language has continued to evolve, to start to seed universal fraternal energy. I don't know if you're understanding anything of what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Yes.
So it has been magical, and atemporal, and very generous.
So good to see you, Rosa. So nice to see you.
You too. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Rosa. Yeah, the inner outer world, it's such a dance, it's just like, Greg was commenting, about MJ's experience, like which is first, like our consciousness is so entangled in all this. It's just so beautiful. I know Dolores Cannon used to have major weather situations happening around her events too, like circular clouds and all that stuff. So, oh, great. So let me bring Mary on. It's great to have new shares tonight. Mary, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm kind of like our friend that just went. I'm not going to try to go into everything because it would take too long. But I know when I was a child, I could hear them. I could hear voices, and I knew I've had people speak with me now that the first woman I was sharing with, she's like, well, now you know what they sound like. Now you know what to listen for, because I can remember what they sounded like when I was a child. A lot of that was shut down. It was not welcome in my world at all. So it was shut down until about 10 years ago, when my life changed drastically in a lot of different ways, and a lot of things started opening up. My primary connection has been with the Arcturians. I had one who, I had a picture. I lived in Germany. I live in the United States now. I lived in Germany for several years, and I bought a drawing there in a hardware store of all places. It was a charcoal drawing of the space that just really drew me. I had it hanging over the piano for years, and I always told people, someday that drawing's going to start talking to me. That was kind of my joke. And the funny thing was, when my Arcturian friend showed up, it looked a lot like that drawing. And just a lot of different things have happened on a lot of different levels. I've connected primarily with Arcturian, with Orion, Sirius, and most recently with Lyra. Anyway, I won't go into all of that, but I also wanted to add, I just completed your survey, and in terms of the questions about dreams, for years I've had dreams about the end of the world as a child, and then throughout my life. It's been like massive storms, massive waves and flooding, and often it was like asteroids with fire falling from the sky. Once it was like a power wave, almost like you would see after nuclear, just a wave that knocked everything out as it went. But to me, the most interesting aspect and of course, I don't know how much of that is symbolic, but it's interesting, one piece of one dream that I'm remembering now in one, and I think it was the one with the wave that knocks everything out. I was looking up, I turned and I looked up at the sky, and instead of seeing blue sky, I was seeing space up above. And, so it was the dark firmament and the stars, you could see all of that. And I could see what looked like a rocket flying off to my left, going off into space. And it was almost like the rocket had a tow chain behind it. And what it was towing was the Statue of Liberty that looked like it had fallen over, and it was being dragged off into space. Anyway, that aspect of that dream never made much sense to me before, but when I think of it these days, it's like, okay. So anyway, just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we encourage all you guys to keep some paper and pen by your bed. I think they say that sometimes the spiritual dreams come at the end, so it's good to just get those down, or even if you're in the middle of the night, because we all know they fade away.
I think I want to jump into it, like in terms of, or in addition to keeping a notepad by your bed. MJ, that was so awesome. And it's also awesome. Thank you, Mary and Rosa. I love hearing from everybody. But I want to say that when you draw, when you put pen to paper, when you take action to either write dreams or just sketch little art images or sacred geometry, which is really easy to draw, and I love to teach people to do it. But anytime you're putting pen to paper, it's this communication. I believe it's this direct communication with higher intelligence, higher source, and you're taking action in the world to say, I'm communicating with you. I would like to receive whatever is important for me. And so, MJ was having this impulse and then created that amazing piece, and then the clouds, more information, all of that. So I really want to just take the moment to plug creative expression of any kind, song, music, dance, whatever. If you are in the zone, you're just going to amplify whatever needs to come through so much by putting yourself out there, however awkward it might feel. And I'll just put in it's a merciless plug, but that's part of why I do my classes, that I love to teach people how to draw sacred geometry. And so, which is a really great avenue for talking with your higher self. So I know Zenka posted all of our websites in the chat, but I would love to have people join in and learn about how powerful sacred geometry is for accessing our consciousness and bringing out that creative connection.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, we'll share the links again. And just to remind everyone, thanks for coming tonight. We're going to have one more share from Babaji, but just a reminder. So you can find Nadi at Galactic Rose Geometry and Viola at Heart and Sound Healing. And again, this conference is starting next Wednesday. There's $100 off, which will last a couple more days if you want to do that. Next week, we'll have Sarah Adams on the 22nd. That's an EXO members only event. You can do that by going to metaverse.org/get on the list, $4 a month to support. And then we have Adam Curry coming up after that. And Linda is coming up after that. So that's what we have on the schedule. And Babaji, did you want to share some tips on, some people haven't had their first contact experience, and you mentioned that you wanted to share some tips on how to do that. But maybe not. So why don't we
Wait,
just,
wait. I forgot to unmute myself.
oh, okay, great.
Are you ready?
Yes.
My phone was on and I was listening to what was happening in the main center at the same time I was visiting in in the other room with those two guys, Mark and Greg. So
Okay.
I overheard them speaking about getting ready for, I call it ascension, and I have another word I call induction. Instead of abduction, like being taken, we're volunteers. We're being inducted, just like the military. So my words are a little different than the ones you're used to hearing. But if you want to get inducted, you have to get ready. And I found my way with yoga. I just say, if you do your yoga, then you'll be prepared. Because yoga, right? It's not just physical, it's a spiritual experience. Can you guys hear okay?
Yeah, we can.
And the most ultimate yoga, and this is my own personal opinion, after, well, over 50 years of yoga, I've decided that the most important one is Raja Yoga, which is meditation. So my meditations now are, oh gosh, 2 hours I've been doing lately. Like Edgar Casey, I do them laying down. And I understand that it's also a technique that was used in Egypt, right? At least that's what I hear. So I'm offering my tips to those of you that would like to know. If you want to do a 2-hour meditation, well, you got to get comfortable. And the full lotus just doesn't get it for me. I mean, I could get into that position, but it hurts. And then when I try to walk afterwards, I'm pretty out, like disabled. So I'm recommending that you lay down when you meditate, and you can't sleep, right? You have to avoid that. So you have to have something to do to keep yourself from falling asleep. That's where the mantra comes in. Now, my mantras are personal. I have Buddhist mantras and Hindu mantras and Tibetan mantras and Christian mantras, and I wouldn't want to sway you in any way. I wouldn't want to say that one was better than another. So I would suggest that you find your own, whatever works for you. The one I like most is called the Gayatri. It's a Hindu mantra. It's from, I believe, the Vedas or the Upanishads. It's somewhere way back in history. And it's simple. Om, as you know, is the word for most of us have accepted that as synonymous with God, whatever, source, whatever, self. I like self with a capital S, our greater self. And so when we meditate, we're actually trying to become one with God, which is really us. It's an inner thing. Jesus said that the kingdom was within. So if you want to go to where heaven is, you have to go inside. And that's where I found these ETs. I thought they were angels. I thought they were God. I didn't know what they were, but now I have the language. They are us. They are one with us. We are one with them. It's all one. That's called Advaita philosophy. And you won't believe this, but my guru, and I do have one, he gave me the name Advaita. So I'm Advaita Acharya in this discipline that I practice, and it's Hinduism, and it's like the Vishnu aspect, right? But the Vishnu people don't believe in the Advaita society. They argue with that. They call it impersonalism. So I was the only person that I know that was in their society that they didn't agree with. And my guru gave me that name because that's what it is I am. One, one, one. No more than that. So we're all one. If you want to find that out, you have to find that out for yourself because it's like an Easter egg hunt. If I tell you where the eggs are, it's not going to be any fun. So you have to go inside to find yourself. And when you're in there, you might find me because we're all one. So there. I think if you want me to go further, you can wiggle your fingers or raise your hands, whatever you think is fitting, but I don't want to take any of your time. I'm available to all of you. Come to Zinka. Zinka can give you information. I told Zinka once, we're going to have a show, and it's going to be for ETs only, and she said, count me on, or count me in. So this is probably it. See you guys all at Mark's Academy. We are one family in God, in love, Yeah, with unity. That's it. And we live in America, and I want to see America with no borders. My plan is to like include the Mexicans and the Guatemalans and the Chile people and Canadians and all of us. We're all on one continent, and I just want to take care of our part of the world and let the rest of the world take care of itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Babaji. That was a beautiful message. The Easter egg hunt is definitely on. And Babaji's been so kind to share his knowledge, and he's done a lot of work with yoga and different mantras, and he would love to share his wisdom with any of you guys. So you can email him or email us to get his information, team@exometaverse.org, and we'll be happy to connect you for that. So thank you so much. And Viola has some upcoming workshops. One is starting tomorrow and one is the next day. I tried to share some links, but why don't you tell us, you guys, about anything that you have coming up? We'd love to support your work and your wisdom.
Yeah, so I'm teaching the Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshop, which is Drunvalo Melchizedek's, his entire lifetime of his body of work has been condensed into this 4-day training. And it's everything that a person needs to walk the path of ascension. It kind of gives you everything in your toolbox. And, he thinks it's a complete training. And so we learn to activate the light body, the Merkaba, heal traumas around the heart, connect with our higher self, activate our beams of light, open the third eye, create reality from the heart. It's a whole 4-day galactic superhero intensive journey. And I actually have one coming up starting tomorrow. It's online for 4 days. And I'm doing it once a month online these days. I started doing it online a year and a half ago. And so every month I'm doing a 4-day training online. And I am still doing them in person as well in Portland, Oregon, every couple of months. So if you're inspired and you want to jump into starting tomorrow, you can just message me tonight. And if not, I'll have one coming up starting on August 10th to 13th. I've got one, and then I'll have one in September as well. So you can also go to my website and just read lots of testimonials from hundreds of people who've taken it with me and just kind of get a feel for it and see if it's for you. And so that's the main thing I got coming up these days.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've taught over 80 of these workshops, and it's so great to have such a leader to walk people through that full cornucopia, experience to go inside and to get ourselves ready and polished up for the road ahead. Very, very cool. Awesome. And also Nadi she's always doing workshops and fun things and movie nights. And so I encourage you to check that out as well. So thanks everyone for coming tonight. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks, if not at the conference next Wednesday. And thanks for all the work that you guys are doing in the world. And thanks for being here tonight. So we'll see you next time. Awesome.
Thank you, Thanka, for the show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's super fun. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
You guys are great.
Bye, Greg.
Bye, Nadi.
Thank you. This was really, really good. I very much.
Oh, that's great, Kathy. We love seeing you each time. It's so great to have you with us, and I'm glad you enjoyed it tonight. Awesome.
Okay, take care.
All right, you guys.